Schopenhauer's critique of Hegel. The war that split philosophy. Hegel was one time called a flat-headed, insipid, nauseating, illiterate charlatan by Schopenhauer, not an official argument. Such contempt was so long-standing, so intense that it was one of the most amusing feuds of all philosophical history. However, there was a genuine difference beneath the rhetoric of name-calling. One that split philosophy for 2 centuries and is still unresolved. The main assertion of Hegel's, reality is rational, not our ideas of reality, but reality. History, nature, and consciousness, everything that has developed in the course of reason. Contradictions and catastrophes are not failures, they are his way of reasoning. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. History is on a move. Where it's going, it's rational. It thus rendered the present order as if it were the result of reason rather than a temporary, expedient use of force. The sort of philosophy that is very useful to powerful institutions. What Schopenhauer replied to it wasn't a counter-system, it was a recap. This was a wrecking. Reality is not rational. The will is blind and purposeless and irrational. Reality is the will. History does not move anywhere. No absolute spirit that is evolving towards self-recognition. Only the will that is active, human, collective life, conflict, power, striving, just as it is in every other form of nature. History is not a rational development. It's all the things that occur when billions of expressions of the identical blind will crash. No synthesis follows. The next conflict is created by the will, then the next. Schopenhauer's more profound criticism, however, was of Hegel's language. He said that a very vague and complicated language makes the philosophy appear profound, but it is actually not. If a sentence is not understood, it is not susceptible to being proven false. He described it as disreputable academic approach, masquerading as rigor. In the following 150 years, the empiricists, the analytic philosophers, and the scientists would all say the same thing, in other words. Say it in other words. Hegel was a winner in his lifetime. The lecture rooms, the appointments of the state, the students. Schopenhauer devoted himself to emptying the rooms and moving to Frankfurt. The 20th century came next. 2 world wars. The end of the optimism of history. The breakdown of the rational self in the psychoanalytic process. The 19th century was a difficult period for Hegel's faith in rational history, and encountered Schopenhauer's bleaker vision. A world where things are going in a direction that reason can never control. Neither of them were entirely vindicated by history. It never does. It is important to remember, however, which vision was more difficult for the 20th century to accept.